And joining me now to discuss this disturbing trend of insecurity in the country and profile a way out is a security expert, Dennis Amachree. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. But the country isn't, as you may have heard. We're seeing security in different dimensions, first on citizens and then on security personnel, even though they are also citizens. But we see that security personnel are being killed on one hand. We're also seeing citizens being killed by terrorists on the other hand. It seems like a problem that is multidimensional. A lot of solutions have and reasons for this have been given. But I just want to ask one more time, what is the challenge here? You used to work with the DSS as a director. With your intelligence, what exactly is the challenge here?
Well, thank you very much for that question. We are in a situation, we're at a crossroads in the country at this time. And of course, the country is bleeding, in different areas, northwest, south, southwest, all over, southeast. And at the military, the security agencies are really overstretched and they're doing the best they could. But I think the solution to this particular problem, when you look at the dots of what is happening in this country, I think the solution is a political solution. And if it is a political solution, then I think the politicians need to sit down and look at it. I agree with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, where he says that everybody must sit down and talk about it. All society approach to it, and then of course the solutions have to come in a political way.
And when you say that it requires a political situation, are you suggesting that this is politically motivated? And then what exactly do you mean by political solution?
Yeah, well, you know that just look at it right now. We have an escalation of the bandit situation or terrorists that are harassing Kaduna. And Kaduna is basically locked down now. It's on lockdown because you cannot access it by road, air, or rail. And then of course the governor of Kaduna State has come out to say a lot about he knows the people, he listens to them, he has been supplied intelligence to listen to them. So under those circumstances, I think that if he knows them and he knows why they are doing this, then I think they have to leave the security forces out of it and actually go and solve the problem politically. That way, everybody will go home happy.
But most of these groups, most of the bandit groups, as we know, have now been prescribed as terrorist group. Aren't there rules of engagement where you're dealing with bandit terrorists? And because we expected that because that nomenclature has changed from being bandits to being terrorists, that we are going to record some level of progress, because then again, the rules of engagement should change. But it doesn't seem that has happened. Isn't that where the problem is? And I also want you to speak to the statement coming from the Minister of Information saying that surveillance has now been put across a stretch of that railway, or is going to be put across a stretch of that railway. If you think that is a solution to this challenge as well.
Okay. Well, the first question, whether we should deal with it when we know them as terrorists now. If they are terrorists and we know that they are terrorists, we want to treat them like terrorists, then we should go ahead and treat them like terrorists. The Kaduna State Governor has suggested that we should go and bomb all of them out of the place. Yes, we can do that, but why is it not being done? Sometimes we hear that, okay, there are exchanges, and then of course the military has killed 50 of them or 100 of them, and some of them has surrendered, but we don't see the bodies, and that is really worrisome. Because are we really, honestly, prosecuting this in such a way that we are going to stop them? Why don't we declare a state of emergency to deal with this, so that at least we don't have to worry about any collateral damages. Declare a state of emergency, deal with them, and then, of course, let's get that clear. The second part of your question, I think, skipped me. Can you remind me, please?
The statement coming from the Minister of Information that the federal government is going to put surveillance in place. I just want to get that correctly. I think he talked about surveillance. Yes, to install surveillance along routes train routes in Nigeria. Okay,
thank you very much. You don't put surveillance along the train route in anywhere. It's not done. And I would prefer, the Minister of Information to stay away from things like this. I would prefer either the Minister of Defense or the military or the Air Force, in fact, the DSS to comment on things like this. Because these are professional issues, security professional issues, and then they don't require all the kinds of ideas or some kind of suggestions that are coming from politicians. Because you don't put surveillance along the railroad, you cover it. When we say covering it, it's not, you put cameras there, they will come and knock off the cameras and then, of course, do what they want to do. But you can put other kind of security solutions. And of course, we've said it over and over. A lot of security people have said it. We have what we call the eye in the sky. It's like a blanket that if you put it like over Lagos, it will cover Lagos. Or in that particular situation, it will cover Kaduna and Abuja, all through. Cover those areas and they will see, from a control room, they will see what is going on. And then, of course, response is another thing. Now, if the minister said we'll put surveillance and then the cameras tell you that some bandits are coming, what do? You send a load of soldiers or policemen from Abuja or Kaduna to go to that area where there are no roads. So that is not a solution. The solution will be for the eye in the sky to inform the people in the control room, and then of course they will send out drones. Now, not all the drones that people have been bandied around is what we're talking about. We're talking of predator drones that are armed.
All right.
Okay, and these can do something, respond quickly to the situation at hand.
Instead of sending, again, the response time is a big issue, and you have proffered a solution that could take care of both surveillance and response time as well. Thank you so much for talking to us. Security expert and former director at the DSS, Dennis Amachree.